Hollywood is a city built on dreams, glitz, and glamour, a place where ambition meets opportunity and talent can catapult someone into immortality. But behind the bright lights and red carpets, the industry has always had a shadow side. Many of the legends we revere for their iconic performances were equally famous or infamous for their off-screen behavior. Some clashed with co-stars, some intimidated crews, and others let their fame distort their morality. Today, we're pulling back the curtain to reveal 20 Hollywood figures whose off-screen antics stunned those around them and, in some cases, left a lasting mark on the industry. 1. William Frawley. William Frawley charmed millions as the gruff yet lovable Fred Mertz on I Love Lucy. His on-screen chemistry with Vivian Vance was legendary, creating moments of comedy that endure to this day. Yet behind the scenes, Frawley was notoriously difficult. His heavy drinking and quick temper often made him unreliable on set. To manage this, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz instituted a strict 3-strike rule. Show up drunk or disrupt production 3 times and you're out. Surprisingly, Frawley survived all 9 seasons, though not without constant tension. His animosity toward Vivian Vance was so intense they reportedly refused to speak off camera, turning their friction into iconic comedic gold. Frawley's story reminds us that sometimes genius and volatility walk hand in hand. 2. Milton Berle. Nicknamed Mr. Television, Milton Berle was a trailblazer in early TV, using charisma and comedic timing to captivate audiences. Yet behind the curtain, Berle's reputation was polarizing. He was controlling, egotistical, and notorious for claiming other performers' material as his own. During a 1976 guest host stint on Saturday Night Live, Berle ignored directors' instructions, mugged for the cameras, and delivered unsolicited directions to the crew, creating chaos that left the SNL team vowing never to work with him again. While Berle's contributions to comedy are undeniable, his arrogance and lack of professional decorum cast a long shadow over his legacy. 3. Frank Fay. A pioneer of stand-up comedy, Frank Fay dominated the 1920s vaudeville scene and earned a fortune for his innovative performances. But his brilliance was eclipsed by a massive ego and abrasive personality. Fay's colleagues described him as dismissive, uncooperative, and outright offensive, particularly due to his anti-Semitic views. His personal life was equally tumultuous, with a marriage to Barbara Stanwyck marked by reports of abuse. Fay's story is a stark reminder that talent alone does not shield someone from the consequences of toxic behavior. 4. Alfred Hitchcock. The master of suspense gave the world cinematic classics like Psycho and Rear Window, but Alfred Hitchcock's brilliance came with a dark side. His controlling nature and obsession with perfection often extended into predatory behavior, particularly toward actresses. During the filming of The Birds, Tippi Hedren was subjected to dangerous on-set conditions, including live birds causing injuries, actions Hedren later described as manipulative and terrifying. Hitchcock's influence on cinema is undisputed, but these incidents illustrate the extreme power imbalances that existed behind the camera. 5. Rudy Vallee. One of the first major music stars of the 1920s and 1930s, Rudy Vallee enchanted audiences with his voice and charm. Yet, Vallee was known for a volatile temperament and a penchant for clashing with colleagues. On live broadcasts, he frequently berated his orchestra, humiliating musicians and creating a tense work environment. While Vallee helped launch the careers of several performers, his volatile personality complicated his legacy, showing that even charismatic figures can foster toxicity behind the scenes. 6. Lucille Ball. Beloved as the hilarious Lucy Ricardo in I Love Lucy, Lucille Ball transformed television comedy and production. But her off-screen personality contrasted sharply with her bubbly screen persona. Ball was known to be demanding and hierarchical, occasionally exuding an air of superiority. One anecdote recounts her refusing to speak directly to a flight attendant, instead communicating through her assistant. Despite these tendencies, Ball's pioneering contributions remain undeniable, though her personal reputation adds a layer of complexity to her legacy. 7. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin revolutionized silent film with creations like The Tramp and City Lights. Yet Chaplin's personal life was riddled with scandal, particularly his relationships with significantly younger women. Marrying teenage actresses, facing a high-profile paternity suit, and confronting political scrutiny during the Red Scare, Chaplin navigated fame under intense public scrutiny. While his artistry remains celebrated, his personal decisions illustrate the blurred line between genius and controversy. 8. Steve McQueen. The king of cool captivated audiences with films like The Great Escape and Bullitt. Off-screen, McQueen's competitive nature and volatile temper created tension. On the set of The Towering Inferno, he allegedly counted lines to ensure parity with co-star Paul Newman and reportedly acted out against neighbors and peers. McQueen's story shows that the rugged charm audiences adored often masked deep personal struggles. 9. Gene Kelly. Gene Kelly transformed musicals with his singing, dancing, and acting, yet his drive for perfection could verge on cruelty. Debbie Reynolds, just 19 at the time, recalled grueling rehearsals for Singin' in the Rain, enduring exhaustion and injuries under Kelly's relentless standards. Even colleagues like Esther Williams reported that Kelly's competitiveness created tension on set. His legacy is a dual one, towering artistic achievement shadowed by occasional harshness toward collaborators. 10. Kiefer Sutherland. Kiefer Sutherland's portrayal of Jack Bauer in 24 was intense and celebrated, but Sutherland's off-screen reputation has often been contentious. Co-stars described him as temperamental and difficult, with incidents of unprofessional conduct that strained relationships. These accounts contrast sharply with his heroic on-screen persona, highlighting the divide between character and actor. 11. Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones has delivered some of the most commanding performances in Hollywood, yet his off-screen demeanor is famously aloof. Known to be cold and dismissive, Jones reportedly avoided autographs and clashed with co-stars. During Batman Forever, Jim Carrey recalled Jones stating bluntly, "I hate you," reflecting the actor's legendary frankness. His story illustrates that immense talent can coexist with an abrasive personality. 12. Faye Dunaway. An acclaimed actress with films like Bonnie and Clyde and Network, Faye Dunaway's brilliance is sometimes overshadowed by her reputation for being difficult. Reports describe erratic and demanding behavior, including clashes with cast and crew. Stories from Mommy Dearest and other productions contributed to her complex off-screen image, blending undeniable skill with professional controversy. 13. Errol Flynn. Swashbuckling star of the Golden Age, Errol Flynn captivated audiences in The Adventures of Robin Hood and Captain Blood. Behind the glamour, however, Flynn's life was scandalous, including a high-profile statutory rape trial. Though acquitted, the media frenzy cemented his reputation as a hard-living, tumultuous figure. Flynn's life underscores how fame can amplify both talent and excess. 14. Kirk Douglas. Kirk Douglas is remembered for intense performances in Spartacus and Paths of Glory. Yet allegations of sexual misconduct, coupled with a history of extramarital affairs, complicate his legacy. While Douglas contributed significantly to Hollywood's artistic and political history, these personal controversies cast shadows over his career. 15. Sean Connery. Sean Connery, the original James Bond, exuded charm and confidence on screen. Yet interviews revealed troubling attitudes toward women, sparking public debate. Connery was also known for being difficult on set, occasionally clashing with directors and co-stars. His immense talent contrasts with aspects of his off-screen persona, leaving a complex legacy. 16. Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal rose to fame in the 1990s as an action star with martial arts prowess. Behind the camera, Seagal's reputation is marred by allegations of abusive behavior, harassment, and unprofessionalism. Stories of physical altercations and misconduct create a controversial portrait that persists despite his cinematic achievements. 17. Meg Ryan. America's sweetheart of romantic comedies, Meg Ryan captivated audiences with her charm in When Harry Met Sally and Sleepless in Seattle. In the 2000s, highly publicized personal controversies, including an affair with Russell Crowe, combined with reports of difficult behavior on set, changed public perception. Ryan's story illustrates how quickly public image can shift in Hollywood. 18. Wesley Snipes. Snipes was celebrated for charisma and talent in films like Blade and White Men Can't Jump. Yet co-stars described erratic and disruptive behavior during filming, with conflicts escalating to physical confrontations. Legal troubles, including a prison sentence for tax evasion, further complicated his legacy. 19. Val Kilmer. Memorable in films like Tombstone and Batman Forever, Val Kilmer's on-screen talent contrasts with a reputation for being difficult on set. Directors and co-stars reported clashes, and some allegations of physical aggression were later settled privately. Kilmer's career reflects the tension between artistic skill and personal conduct in Hollywood. 20. Macaulay Culkin. Once the iconic child star of Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin struggled with fame and public attention during his adolescence. Reports of dismissive behavior toward fans and personal challenges highlight the pressures faced by child actors growing up under intense scrutiny. Culkin has since regained stability, illustrating that early struggles in Hollywood can leave a lasting mark, yet redemption is possible. Hollywood is a land of contradictions. Brilliance and chaos often coexist. The 20 figures highlighted here remind us that fame can magnify flaws as easily as it can elevate talent. From abusive actions to unprofessional antics, these stories reveal the human cost behind legendary work. Yet they also challenge us to grapple with a difficult question: can we separate art from the artist? While the debate continues, the lessons are clear. Accountability, empathy, and integrity matter even among the brightest stars. Behind the glamour, power and ambition can cast long, complicated shadows.